Welcome to the Diversity Spotlight. I'm Deborah Levine, editor of the American Diversity Report. And with me today is Andrea Interview. She was born and brought up in Germany in Lower Saxony. Former high school teacher with her master's degree, she's been a human resource expert and a coach. She and her husband, who works for Volkswagen, have traveled and lived in other countries, including in Portugal. In 2009, Andrea and Hans Herbert Jagler came to America to work in the new Volkswagen Chattanooga plant. Welcome, Andrea.
Welcome, Deborah.
I understand you were very excited to come to the United States.
Yes, we are, and I am especially. So it was, since the 60s, I guess, it was a dream of mine to live once in America, to understand the culture better and the country better. And I grew up with that idea, America is our big brother. So therefore, I wanted to live once here because after being in other countries, I learned that you can't understand the people without living there. It's not only being a tourist. That is really anything. You will tour the country, but you don't have connection to the people. And that is the most important.
Now that you are here, you have been here for a while, what can you tell someone who is going to come here to America, to the American Southeast, about what it's like? What has been some of your favorite experiences here?
The really favorite experience is this very, very kind population here. They are so kind to us, especially to the Germans here. We are so welcomed in this little city. They love everything about Volkswagen, and not only having the business, the company here, even the people. And so this appreciating of us, the kindness of them, these people here, and the hospitality is really great. Having this experience of open houses, I love that, and especially in contrast to my stay in Portugal. I stayed in the 90s, early 90s in Portugal, and that was not 20 years after their revolution, and so they had really closed houses. They invited the people, but you couldn't go there. And here the people invite you and you can go, and you will see in how American house inside. You will be sometimes even invited in an American family to celebrate something like Thanksgiving, what I never had celebrated because we don't have that in Germany. And this experience I love.
Thank you. What have you learned about communicating with the people here in the South that's been helpful to make friends?
Well, I want to say that it's hard for me as a German, and not hard, it's special for me to have this English conversation style, because we have in Germany, we have a formal and an informal addressing of people. And so if you have an formal addressing of people like strangers or like the people in the business, then you have another connection to them than having an informal addressing. The informal addressing is with your friends, maybe acquaintances, and of course in the family. So there is another connection between you and another German. It depends on the informal or formal addressing of this person. And here, coming to America, I have only one way to address people, and this is you. And so I was a little bit confused by that feeling that I had to every person I was talking to because of using only the informal, for me, informal way of conversation. So there was not such a border and a wall like I have to other people in Germany, but this sometimes is for the American people, I guess, overwhelming when I'm talking to them, because then I wish maybe sometimes to share too much of my life. And therefore, my first experience were a little bit, she's talking too much, sharing too much. But it was not that they showed it directly to me. I had to get it in between the lines, and then it was not a mother tongue, talking not in the mother tongue. It's harder to get it in between the lines. So this was one of the challenging first in the communication style. But we have, for example, we have other conversation openness in Germany than you here. And that is sometimes confusing for us because you love to talk more about how's your husband doing, what are the kids are doing, and we talk more as an opener about the weather. And so this might be a difference. And a huge difference is that our conversation to us in Germany is way more direct than especially here in the South. So we don't beat the bushes like you would say, I think so.
Beat around the bush.
Yeah. We don't do that. When we will be asked something, then we will give a direct answer or we address people directly. And that is sometimes, I guess, that is really confusing for the Southern. I had some experience, like going in a shop, a very expensive shop, looking around. The people wanted to help who are working there, and then saying it direct. I think this is everything is too expensive. This is not what I wanted to buy, and they don't know to react such a sentence. For a couple of seconds, they didn't know what to say, and so then after a while there came the answer, then we don't have anything for you. And I think there was never ever a person saying something like a sentence in the shop, like everything too expensive for me, or I didn't want to spend so much money. I think a Southern person would find another sentence to get a more elegant way to leave this shop.
You've been here now 2 years?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. In those 2.5 years, have you learned a little bit of how to be Southern?
Yes, of course. Sometimes I have to swallow something what is on the tip of the tongue, but mainly I feel this changed a little bit my conversation style or the first experiences with people, so that they are so friendly, they are so kind, appreciating and welcome, that I can't be like I would be in Germany, direct and confrontating. Therefore, I changed my conversation style too here in America. And it's like the people are addressing you. You will be reacting, and you will choose your reaction after a while, especially when you are able to talk better in this second language.
Have you had a chance to travel and see part of the South? And if so, what have you chosen to visit?
So for me, it was important to see cities like Charleston and Savannah, because even before I came here, I heard about this East Coast, and I saw movies about it, and I had the feeling I have at least once to see that when I'm here, so that is a chance to see it. And then I guess everybody knows about the Smokies, and it's the most visited park in America, and I guess every German knows about it. So, and it's a great part of Tennessee. So I have visited that several times. When we have visitors, we want to show them something. So we, for example, go to see the Tennessee whiskey companies like Jack Daniels. It's a famous company, and I don't know if you ever have seen an advertisement of Jack Daniels, but we have seen that even in Germany, and this was the ad transport about this very quiet part of the country, Tennessee, mountains, clear water, and a lot of time giving to this Tennessee whiskey. This ad transports something, and we wanted to see, and a lot of people visiting me want to see something, what this ad, especially this ad, is transporting to Europe. And you will find it here in several parts of Tennessee and the South.
So Jack Daniels is famous in Germany.
Jack Daniels is something what is famous all over the world. We know Tennessee whiskey only by the name Jack Daniels, and now I learned here are more companies preparing Tennessee whiskey, but Jack Daniels is the most famous brand, I guess.
And I understand that you've traveled beyond Tennessee also. You went to New Orleans.
Yeah, when you are here in this country, in America, you have to take the chance to see more. And of course, I traveled to Seattle for a couple of weeks ago, and Vancouver. I have been on Vancouver Island, and sometimes I go to Washington because one of my kids came in January to Washington, D.C., so I go there several times. The northern part I have seen during travel, during vacation time, coming from Germany in the 90s. So, but we didn't visit that time when we spent vacation here. We didn't visit the South. And therefore, I even more appreciated that Volkswagen was building a plant here in the South, that I had the chance to learn even more about the South. And I experienced huge difference between the Southern living and Northern living in America.
How does it look to you, coming from Germany, the difference between the North and the South?
It's the same nowadays, but I grew up with learning only something about the northern states of America. And when we watch news, we hear a lot about America because it's a huge and important country. But what we hear about America is more that what's coming from the northern East Coast, like New York, Washington. So the politics, the important things, they have to spread the news in the world. And there's not so much coming from the South. And having this different, learning about this different experience, how, for example, this civil war can be seen by the people who were the succeeder gained this war, and by the southern people who lost it to the North. That is a complete different experience people can have. And so therefore I think it's still here, the history of the Civil War, and nobody in the North is talking about that. And this is a complete different experience for me, and I think it's good to see that.
I understand that you have gone out of your way to see movies about the South and art about the South to better understand our culture. And what have you found?
When I came here, I asked several people what kind of books or movies I shall read or watch. And there are several and different, and I enjoy them. And some of them I already knew from Germany without relating them to the South. For example, the color purple with Whoopi Goldberg, that movie. It's a very, very famous movie in Germany too, but I didn't relate it to the South, actually. And reading or watching it here and living, it makes a difference. We German, when we meet, we talk about these books and movies, and some of my friends said, "It's nice now to have this experience of this, especially southern summer, that you are used to the crickets and all these noises you have in the night, especially in the night." And we knew that from some movies, and we read it in some books, but now having this own experience, hearing it and living in it, so that is really is a fun part.
Do you enjoy the crickets and the night noises?
Yes, I do. I love it. And I knew when I heard it the first time, I knew I will miss it when I'm going back to Germany. It's the sound of summer for me now. And I will miss the sound of summer in Germany.
We take it for granted here so much of what the evenings are like in the summer, and it's good to be reminded of really how beautiful it is, even though for you, I imagine the summer is quite hot.
I personally love the heat, and I will miss that too. I know I'm strange because a lot of Germans told me I'm a little bit mad. I'm a little bit messed up that I even love the humidity. And this summer I miss the humidity. And it's so dry like in Germany. It's completely different this year. But I love temperatures around 90, 92, 94 degrees. I just love it. And the humidity, I love it too. And it's a really feeling of summer. And if you have to work, it's no problem. You go in the house and there you have your air conditioner and you can breathe and you can work there. And outside you can enjoy this summer feeling. I really will miss them in Germany. I can't stand the cold and the rainy days, and so we have only a few days summer, I would say, after this experience here. We say we had already this year in Germany, my family in Germany said we had again a green painted winter time. And therefore, I enjoy the summer here.
And I imagine you enjoy the beautiful flowers that we have during the summer.
Yeah, that is a little bit a hard part because I really planted a lot of flowers in my garden and I try to take care of them. But the deers in my garden are eating them up in the morning time before I can enjoy them. So that is not so. This experience is not so nice. Besides, I love to see the deer in the morning in my garden, but they eat everything.
That's funny. What advice would you give to a newcomer to the South for them to be comfortable in our culture?
Well, one thing in this culture, because we are in Germany, we are maybe more comparable to the North, so the life is quicker, faster, and so my experience here that life is still a little bit slower than in the North and in Germany, and one of this experience you will experience that. If you are, for example, driving, the style of driving cars here is different. And waiting time in public offices is way longer than I know I don't have this experience from Germany. And one thing what was first bothering me a little bit after I got used to it was that a lot of people here talking about America as if America would be the world and the world would be America, just America, and then nothing else. And so you feel sometimes a little bit like, oh, there's another continent, at least one continent, Europe, more besides America, because I came from this continent. And so sometimes you feel a little bit like you're not part of this important world, and this is America. That is one of my experience I had, and that is not really related to the culture, but my advice is really to get used to the weather problems like snow and tornadoes. When we come from Germany, and I had this experience now several times with other Germans, we don't take it serious, and how the people act around tornadoes and around snow, that for me belongs even to the culture, and we have to get used to this. For example, that we can't go anywhere, that we have to stay in the houses, that maybe people don't come from A to B because of tornadoes or snow, that the grocery stores are empty, or that the life holds on, so that sometimes for a week you won't have any chances to go somewhere, and the kids don't go to school. That is a challenge sometimes for the mothers. I don't have kids here, but I know from my German friends that it's sometimes a challenge because the kids have to stay at home because of the weather. And that is something what is complete different than in our country. We don't have tornadoes, and we are very used to snow. And this is something, an advice, and several times we experience, if I ask people questions, especially in public authorities, that I got a quick answer, sources to ask. So because here in America, you need only one ID card, and we have several ID cards in Europe, and they probably had never a German ID card in different styles in their hands, so they don't know it.
If there is one thing that you would like us Southerners to understand about Germany and about German culture, what would it be?
In Europe, so especially my generation, we grew up with living in a small country of Europe. And we had this experience that we had to go when we wanted to go to maybe to the south, to the sea, or maybe in a mountain area. The people in America, you can use one language for going from the northern part of this country to the southern point without crossing borders, without changing currencies, without having experience of another language. And that is sometimes challenging.
Thank you. That is very true about our country. A huge one compared to most other countries, and we have so much here, we don't really need to go outside. That's both the good and the bad. What is happening today in bringing you and Volkswagen and other international companies and people here is, well, thank you. That is very true about our country. It's a huge one compared to most other countries, and we have so much here, we don't really need to go outside. And that's both the good and the bad. But what is happening today in bringing you and Volkswagen and other international companies and people here is the world is coming to our doorstep, and We thank you for sharing your ideas and thoughts so that we can become more globally minded, that people who do come here, like yourself, can know better what to expect from us.
Yes.
Yes.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Bye.